let's head quickly to Lagos and get the views of Mr. Festus Mbisogu, who is a Nigerian industrialist in China. I'm sure you've been following the conversation and making reference to Bimbo, who just spoke now. You know, the crux of all he has said so far for me is that there's this issue of fragmentation that we need to deal with. Give us a sense of what's going on in China with the Nigerian diaspora.
Okay, thank you for having me. First of all, I want to appreciate the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for the initiative for setting up a diaspora commission in Nigeria. As of me, I have that very passion for our national development, and these thoughts came to me over maybe 10 years ago. I have been residing in China for 14 good years. And having lived in China for 14 good years, I discovered that part of the items or products being used in our dear country, Nigeria, let me just be average, over 70% of what Nigerians consume is from China, 70 to 80%. And this gave me a lot of worry when I was in China because I'm into shipping business. And I start thinking home. And when the idea came to me to think of what to do, and I then go into one of the former ministers who came to China and interfaced with Nigerians in China. And he pleaded for Nigerians in diaspora to repatriate their funds back home. He highlighted what the present administration is doing. And I heeded to that very call by coming down to Nigeria here to set up my industry that is into production of so many items. But I want to let us know that in China, so many of us have that financial muscle, have that financial capacity to site factories in Nigeria here. But there is a big challenge. And this is the challenges I want the federal government to address. Statistics have shown that a unit of a product being manufactured in Nigeria, if the cost is 400 naira in Nigeria, the cost could be 300 naira in China, and probably in Ghana, 200 naira. And I took time to investigate this. I discovered there is a problem, and that problem lies on steady power supply. Steady power supply. I remember when the former minister approached me, even the current minister, Chief Awudu, approached me and said, Festus, expand your factory. I told them the challenges I'm having. I told them, yes, the president is doing so very well. The minister of power is doing so very well, but there is a big challenge. In my factory, where I sited my industry, it's too difficult for me to have a steady power supply. Very, very difficult. And it's too discouraging for Nigerians in diaspora that want to come back home to invest. I also told them that in my factory, I have about 3 generators, I have over 2,000 kVA that runs on over 600 liters of diesel per day. And it runs morning and night. These are the factors that may kind of prevent Nigerians in diaspora from not coming back home to invest. But I thank God that the present administration is working so hard. The Minister of Power is working so hard. I learned that the power has increased to 7,000 megawatts. But I expect them to do more because it's a big discouraging. I also want us to know that Nigerians in diaspora is doing a lot, apart from my own business I'm doing in Nigeria. Another problem, again, I found that we are having is accessibility to the present government, probably the minister, the governors, or those in authorities. I have, last 4 years, out of 2013, I came in here with over 21 investors. And I found it difficult assessing governors. I found it difficult assessing ministers. And these investors, some of them are into agriculture, some of them are into mining, some of them are into power, some of them are into so many things. And I was able to see only the governor of Ogun State, Imo State, and Delta, and the rest of them. And other people that they wanted to see, they could not see them. But I want to praise Mr. President for setting up this. That's why I said I'm so happy for him for setting up this diaspora commission, because through it, Abike David is well experienced. He has been visiting so many countries. He has been interfacing with us. And some of the missions overseas some of these investors find it difficult to approach them. But for us residing in abroad, they have that one-on-one interface, one-on-one discussion with us. They know the potentials in Nigeria. They know Nigeria is a giant of Africa. They know Nigeria has the population. They know that Nigeria is a virgin land. They know that a lot happen in terms of business opportunities. But they need us to help them to bring them to Nigeria. And now that we have this the commission, it will be very easy for us to reach out to the government through this channel and convey to government what these guys are up to and what they want to do in their country. That's a question that was put to the guests before us here. When you ask them, why is it that so many governors are going to overseas to woo investors, why we have so many Nigerians in diaspora? What I think I should say on that is this. Look, I have witnessed over, let's say, 150 MOU signed in China for over 10 good years. And after signing this MOU, the government, the minister or the governor or the director will go back home. Nobody follows up on those MOUs. But with this setting up of this diaspora, with the wisdom and initiative of Abike Dabire, he can have a kind of connectivity, a channel of communication to all these various countries where Nigerians reside or where Nigerians have so much interest. As you know, Nigeria is the third or the second largest trade partner with China. So he can set up a kind of a committee or a link man over there in all this country to follow up on this MOU. After signing this MOU, these investors, I'm talking out of experience, these investors find it difficult to go to have an appointment with the embassy, find it difficult kind of getting visa to China. But once this connectivity between us and this diaspora that have been set up, I think it will go well for us here in the country.
Okay, Festus Mbisiogwu, thank you very much there for your comments. We have a torrent of tweets that have come in. Joy and I will roll through them so that we can have the opportunity of also ventilating the views of our viewers.